Don't provoke a uwu protecting her lamb, especially the kind that can give birth to a lamb-born woman. My father butchered a lamb and roasted it to eat right in front of the uwu. The next moment, the uwu, covered in blood, stood upright and became human. Grandma said this was called a suspended sheep, an omen of great misfortune, but my father didn't believe her. He killed the uwu, cut open her belly, and made her into a lamb-born woman. But inside the sheep's womb, out came my long-deceased mother. She had fair skin and delicate features, her eyes and brows indistinguishable from my mother, who had been buried in the ground. The only difference was the few hideous, freshly stitched marks on her lower abdomen, from where the sheep's womb had been sewn shut. My father was both startled and overjoyed. He locked her in a room and tormented her day and night. Little did he know, he thought he'd found a celestial maiden, but he had actually welcomed a vengeful ghost. Within 3 days, strange things began to proliferate. Goat bleats could be heard at night. My father's craving for lamb meat grew stronger. When he opened his eyes again, his hands had slowly transformed into 2 goat hooves. Not a single man in the village was spared. Their hands and feet turned into hooves. Their pupils split vertically, and when they opened their mouths, all they could do was bleat. They killed dogs and used their blood, hoping to suppress the evil, unaware that the true revenge had only just begun. And I looked at that woman, identical to my mother, and smiled softly. She wasn't an ordinary lamb-born woman. She was the sheep king, here to claim the entire village. Who says only a lamb can give birth to a lamb-born woman? Have you heard of the sheep-born woman? If you slice open the belly of a fat sheep that has been fed for a full year, a woman with a decent appearance will crawl out from the sheep's body. This woman is called a sheep-born woman. My father was the best in the village at making sheep-born women. Every woman that emerged from a sheep was like a celestial being, gentle as water. Their eyes brimmed with charm, their figures were delicate, and their voices were gentle and enchanting. Each one embodied the very essence of a woman's tenderness. No man could resist these obedient and alluring women. The old bachelors in the village dreamed of marrying a sheep-born woman from my father. Even the children in the village recited this heartwarming nursery rhyme.
肥羊妇，藏女娇，眼无瞳人面如削。昼为妾，夜为妖，血痕暗覆旧衣袍。剖羊腹，骨节敲，倩影爬出带腥骚。
Day was the village chief's happy day. He had just married a newly made sheep-born woman as his 18th wife. She was incredibly beautiful, with skin so fair it was practically translucent, tinged with pink. Almost the entire village went. When the village men saw the sheep-born women kept at the chief's house, their eyes practically welded themselves onto those women. Stunningly beautiful women gently attended to the men at the feast, responding boldly to their flirtations. This made my father extremely envious. He was so angry he just drank alone and sulked. When my father was young, he also had a group of gorgeous sheep-born women, but they were all gone now. Seeing the wanton behavior of the sheep-born women, who craved men, infuriated him. By the time father got home, he was completely drunk.
That chief is so stingy. How can you drink without any meat?
Father immediately set his sights on the 2 newborn lambs in the pen. He completely ignored the old ooze cries, grabbing 1 lamb in each hand. Hearing the ooze hoarse, desperate calls, my heart ached with pity. After all, I was the one who fed all these sheep. I still had scars on my body from cutting grass for them. I had even given names to the old ooze lambs.
Dad, how about I get you some chicken to eat? That old ewe is crying so pitifully.
Father suddenly slapped me, sending me flying to the ground.
You useless girl, born with a cleft lip. What's wrong with you? Since when is chicken better than lamb? They're just animals, you understand that. If you starve it, the first thing it'll bite is its own lamb.
That slap made my ears ring, and blood gushed from my nose. At least the uwu would take care of her young, feeding them. All I ever got from my father were curses and beatings. Raise a son tough, raise a daughter tender. In our village, it was the opposite. Sons were raised to be plump and strong, while daughters were beaten until they were skin and bone. Seeing this, grandma could only look at me with pity, not daring to make a sound. Muttering, "What a sin, what a sin," she hid in her room. Hearing the lamb's constant wailing, the uwu, despite being newly pregnant, rammed the fence covered in barbed wire. The sounds of knife sharpening, curses, wails. Suddenly, the lamb's cries grew faint and then stopped. The uwu cried out to the sky, her white wool gradually turning blood red, matted together like a blood-soaked garment. Unable to bear it, ignoring my own pain, I went to open the fence for the uwu, because my mother had protected me like this. But she was gone now. She once told me,
"Child, if I'm not here anymore, think of this ewe as me. She even fed you her milk once. Consider her your second mother."
I used a thick pair of scissors to cut through the iron wire binding the gate, and hid the cut piece. The uwu rushed past me, on the ground, and charged out.